I imagine if someone's listening to this, they're already on that path of the soul. They're interested in the things that we're talking about. How might they start to listen to their own voice and see what's being held back, what's being repressed, the places that they haven't yet been able to express themselves? How would they go about that?
Mm. Well, I would just invite people. I think this work, these elements, I feel like is the secret decoder ring for the voice.
Mm.
We're paying attention to voices all the time. Like if I had come on this podcast and I was talking like this, people are assessing all the time. Is this person credible, likable? And we are all leaking a lot of information about who we are by the sound of our voice. I could tell that you were not from Alabama when you started to speak, and you could tell I was not from Devon.
Mm.
It's like we are.
I'm actually from
And
Devon.
are you really? Get
Yes, that's where I was
out of
born.
here. Oh my gosh. Well, what else would you like to know? I just pulled that. I was like, why am I saying Devon? I guess I know why I'm saying Devon. This is happening more and more all the time. Now I've lost complete track of what we were talking about. Oh, about where to start. So I think just paying attention to, first of all, your sound, not just your words. And I like to encourage people to get outside of that little voice box that we're all living in. So you could just voice your yawn when appropriate. And that'll open up your earth voice. And sing along with a good rock and roll singer. That'll wake up your fire voice. Or just, yell at the person who's cutting you off in traffic, which is one of my favorites.
Use his voice training.
Yeah, big idiot. But it's joyful and it can be angry, both fire. It's all tangled up in passion and big expression. And for water, you could sing some lullabies, or a lot of times people make this sound organically when they hear bad news. A lot of times people put their hand on their heart and they go, "Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry." That's the water voice. It's warm and flowing and tender. You can laugh like a witch for metal. And sigh, for air. So these are not far away from our everyday expressions of being a human being. A lot of, and you can also get fire if you stub your toe or burn yourself on the stove. It's like, ow, ow, so a lot of us, we do have access to these, but we don't really have a, a framework to hang them on. And I made the framework to help,
Yes.
and also to listen. That is fascinating. You can listen to yourself, say like, oh, how do I talk to my dog as opposed to how I talk to my boss or my neighbor? Right? Those shifts. It's like, oh, I'm holding back a little here. I must not feel comfortable. And I have a friend that I when we're together, we find each other hilarious and we laugh like witches. I don't laugh like that with anyone else. That's our language. So to pay attention to your own shifts in your voice, but then also to listen, to say, what am I hearing? Most people are a mix. What am I hearing and what might it mean? So for instance, I had a client who saw himself on a video talking about how passionate he was. And now we know why he came to me. He was passionate, but he was an introvert. And he just was an introvert. He was a quiet and steady guy. And so before we got busy changing his voice, which we did, we didn't get rid of this voice. We added to it. All of them are good, except when they're terrible. And so, but before we went there, I said, so tell me, are you the person who stays calm when everyone else is losing their minds? And he said, "Yep." And had a little smile like, "Oh, she saw me. She saw me."
Oh.
And so,
Mm.
um, I don't use this work to judge people. We don't need more room for judgment, right? There's plenty to go around, but it makes me ask smarter questions. So
Mm.
for the woman, the woman who's talking up here in the air, I've had a number of clients. I've worked with a lot of young women who are trying to reclaim their full power and their voice. But before we get busy with that, I'll say, so tell me, are you the person who sees the future before everyone else? And they're like, well, like this look in their eye, like, how did you know? Like, how did you know Devon? Right? It's
Mm.
like, oh yeah. And it's not true 100% of the time, but 99.9% of the time, people's voices are telling a little bit about their gifts.
Mm.
So the earth tells a story of being grounded and steady, and the fire tells a story about being passionate and visible, and the water tells the story of having anything your heart has to say, being heart-based and loving and empathetic. And a metal voice is about clarity and sharpness, and also getting loud without hurting your voice, just technically speaking. And the air is about the connection to spirit and the dream time and
Mm.
stories and possibilities. So all of them have their way and their time. Um, and so I think just playing, just I think your listeners can just play to say, oh, I don't have one voice. I have
Mm.
many. And if the one I'm using doesn't work, I might be able to shift to something else.
Yeah. I think I mean, again, the elements are so in our blood and bones. These aren't things that are a modern concept or something you've come up with. We all have that innate resonance when you're talking about these. Everyone's going to listen and go, oh, yes, I've not applied them to voice before, probably, but I can hear what you mean. And we can
Mhm.
listen to our own voice from that perspective. It makes complete sense.